seeing that this thing can't seem to get up on the ramps by itself, we just ended up busting out the old jack and jacking it up and putting the drive-on ramps underneath it. So yeah, we have the truck on the ramp. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back. I apologize that it is so echoey in here that because we don't really have anything in here yet. So you can see we're working on the first gen again tonight. Tonight it is already, let's just check the time here. It is 10:30 on a school night, but that's what you got to do sometimes when you want to go to the racetrack the next day, and that's what we want to do. We're going to try and make it to the track the next day, so we are pulling a little bit of a late night and going to put this guy in there. So we are swapping the converter out. Right now we have like a 2000 stall converter, which is kind of like a normal application. This bad boy behind me, right down there, I believe is like a 2800 stall, which should help us get these turbos up on boost quicker. You know, we didn't really have a problem street driving it before, but this should help a lot on the track. Seeing that we're not really able to do a burnout, we want traction. So anyway, we're gonna kind of fly through this a little bit. I'm not gonna really do a super in-depth. I am still gonna try and go over each step of the way. Step number one, get yourself some fancy ramps. I believe these are down in the description. I get asked these all the time. So if you want to check those ramps out, they're in the description. From here on out, we are just gonna simply say step number whatever it is and exactly what you're gonna do. So step number one, if your big fancy lift, which everyone dreams about, has not shown up yet, get yourself some ramps. That is step number one. Get some room underneath the truck so you can actually pull the transmission down. Step number two, pull your drive shafts out. Step three, take out transmission dipstick and also your converter bolts. Next up, cooler lines, wiring, and your shift linkage. Next up, we are gonna move to transmission brace to cross member bolts. We're gonna go the next step. We're just gonna kind of knock these all out in one. We're gonna go ahead and start removing our bell housing bolts. We're gonna go ahead and support the transmission by the transpan with your trans jack. And then we're gonna go ahead and drop the rest of the cross member out of here and then finish up with your bell housing bolts. And then you will be free to drop this baby down. We're not gonna take it completely off or drag it out. We're just gonna drop it completely down so we can access the converter, and I'll catch back up with you guys when this baby is out. Alrighty guys, we have got some good news and then maybe so not good of news, but the transmission is out. I figured the truck was actually up high enough to pull the transmission completely out, so rather than fighting with a heavy converter underneath the truck, we might as well just pull it out. So transmission is out. This is the old converter that we are going to be taking out. That is the good news. We have successfully made a mess, which leads me into the not so good news. We are in our socks and our legs are completely covered in transmission fluid. So for those of you guys who, I don't know if you guys remember back when we first 48 swapped the first gen, I made a note, and I actually completely forgot about it up until we went to go take these two top bell housing bolts. Because of the way the firewall is constructed, these two bolts are very, very hard to get to, abnormally harder than, say, a truck that came with a 48, because like the old automatics that come in these things are much smaller. The actual adapter plate is thinner, so you have more room in a factory transmission. This fits, but man is it tight, and we were trying to get those two bolts off, and we stepped down into the drain pan full of transmission fluid with our right foot, with our brand new pair of Supra sneakers. Man, just terrible. We have just successfully made an entire mess out of this entire thing. Transmission fluid all over the toolboxes. This shoe right here, man, it is completely soaked all the way through. Rip Supras. But guys, this would normally be, seeing that it's getting late, where I'm just gonna say screw it and we're gonna go inside and go to sleep. But I was not letting this thing beat me. We're just getting our butts handed to us. Half the reason, I know I'm not wearing a hat. Half the reason I'm sorry. Like I'm not being negative and I'm not bitching, but we're struggling right now because transmission fluid everywhere. Like I have just stuff scattered everywhere. Tools here, tools there. Like I needed my topside creeper. I don't know where the top of my topside creeper is. Like the shop is just not set up yet, and it's just inherently making things that much more difficult, that much more time consuming, because I just don't know where anything is right now, and it's just frustrating me to like no end. But anyway, that's my little rant. I'm not gonna let this thing kick my butt any longer. We're gonna go ahead and grab this other converter over here. With the little bit of transmission fluid that I do have, we're gonna take probably a quart. We're gonna fill up the torque converter, fill it up a quart, and then go ahead and plop it on the fat input shaft here. Converters just basically slide on, slide off. You wanna make sure you rotate them around to get them locked in there. Alrighty, new converter going in.
5 hours later.
I know it's a little bit of a fast forward here, but we are 100% completely wrapped up underneath the truck. It is super, super late, but we stuck it out. We got it done. We made a mess, but not today, converter. Not today, 48. I beat you. So we're gonna go in, grab a couple hours of sleep, wake up before work tomorrow, and go ahead and top this thing off. I only have like 2.5-ish quarts here, so I'm hoping we have enough, and then tomorrow in this video we will drive this thing and kind of see how much of a change this converter actually makes. As you guys could tell, even spooling up to get on these ramps, yeah, so that 87 turbine on the manifold probably gonna need some help. So hopefully the converter swap, as you can tell, I'm losing my mind. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. Guys, and just like that, a little bit of time later, transmission is full. I did not think we were gonna need that much transmission fluid. Thankfully, the bin full of power-driven diesel, power torque ATF was at the shop. Otherwise, we would not be driving this thing to work. So we got one, you know you drive a Dodge when you got a spare quart of transmission fluid just riding around shotgun with you. But anyway, we are off to work. Let's see. Put this baby in gear. Let's do the first initial power brake test to see if I can tell any difference right off of the bat. We do have our secondary gauge plugged in until we can get some extra wire. Go ahead, flip our trans fan on. Can't tell if we're spinning the tire or not. Yeah, we're starting to spin the tire, but I can tell right away. All right, let's take her to the streets. I can tell right away though that it seems to be way more responsive, way sooner. I don't even think we're at 2,000 RPMs there when the boost gauge started to come up. So I think we're gonna be okay, guys. All right, guys, cruising along. I know there's not a ton of exciting action happening inside the cab with people all around us, but right off the bat, I can definitely tell the difference between the 83 and 87 turbine wheel. You know, it's definitely not as quick, but I think the converter is kind of making up for it, so it doesn't really seem all that bad. But as they say, you guys know, the test will be the track, which is going to be tonight. Not in this video though, I don't think. But anyway, we're cruising along. We've got all the gears. We're winning. We are winning. All right, we're gonna go for a spool up test at work. Let's see if this surface has any better traction. Maybe not, but I'm gonna go spool up test number 2. Alrighty, well, it looks like Mother Nature strikes yet again on a test and tune Tuesday night. So we're out of work. It's time to hopefully make it home with the radials on. We're gonna go nice and slow. So we have made it home finally. That was probably one of the sketchiest rides home that I've ever been on with the slicks on the back. We were doing about 10 miles an hour the whole way home. But anyway, first gen is back together. The track was canceled, unfortunately, so we will have to wait for the true test to put this thing on the track. It feels really, really good. The restall on the converter feels good. Really wasn't able to obviously get into it a whole lot driving. We only drove it there, and then home was pretty much a wash. But we will do some more driving videos with the first gen, get this thing on the track. But the first gen is officially back and it feels good. So that is gonna wrap up this video. I will see you guys my SD card's flashing at me saying we got no more minutes left. That's gonna do it, guys. Hit the like button before you leave, subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Very, very big news coming soon. See ya.